That's right across from where my house is.
There should be a bar there. Got a car on the outside of the road.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. It's yogurt, right? Is it yogurt?
I love it.
It's all yogurt.
You like that?
Right. I don't want to eat that stuff. How much I do?
Good morning, everyone.
It's no longer there anymore. Where was that?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm Carol Giese, the CEO of the Elgin Area Chamber. Happy holidays. So Hanukkah's next week, Christmas follows. Who's got their shopping done? There's not. Oh, there's one hand in the back. Oh, two. Ross is done with this as well. All right, remember to shop small, shop local. It makes a big difference. Thank you today for joining us for the Mayor's State of the City Address with Elgin Mayor David Kaptain. This is a landmark breakfast for the mayor and for the opportunity for business and civic leaders here in the room, all of you, as well as the community at large, to engage more deeply with our local government. The Elgin Chamber, of course, is dedicated to supporting local businesses. We're the voice of local business, and we act as a catalyst and champion for these businesses. Together with our Elgin Development Group, we're recognized as vital community resources, offering relevant, innovative, and impactful programming and advocacy that fosters a business climate and enhanced quality of life. So our success lies within each one of you that are here with us today, the vast network of community and business partners and talented volunteers who leverage your resources to benefit business. So through our partnership with the City of Elgin, we are always creating an environment for growth and success for our local businesses. Thank you to our partners with the city, many of them over here. Raise your hands, city people. They're incredibly talented partners and professionals, and we are so grateful to have the opportunity to work with many of them in their daily activity of delivering services to our city. Today, I'd like to introduce some of the partners that are with us today. Those who made this event possible, our sponsors, AT&T, to Elgin Community College, and to Hampton, Lazzini, and Renwick. It is my pleasure today to introduce to you the interim president of Elgin Community College, Dr. Peggy Heinrich.
Thank you. Carol has the green for the holidays, and I'm realizing I have insufficient holiday clothing. A little bit of red, I'm going to work on it. So good morning, welcome to ECC. I'm Peggy Heinrich, the interim president here at the college this semester. I just want to take a quick moment to welcome our board of trustees here this morning. We have our Dr. Redmer, our chair of our board of trustees. We have our vice chair, Jennifer Rako, with us. Christy Rodriguez. Clara Leas, trustee. Patrick Hartz, trustee. Also, I wanted to offer a quick thank you to our food services here at the college. I'm Rich, who is here, I think, 24 hours a day. So we're always really pleased to host Mayor Kaptain with his State of the City address. I always get something out of this, and it's always an inspirational speech. So thank you for holding it here at ECC with us. Here at the college, this has been a very exciting year in 2024 as we've been celebrating our 75th anniversary as a college. So we have had so many events. If you have been tracking or attending any of them on campus, ranging from our birthday party to musical celebration on the green, an employee talent show, we had dogs on our stage, we wrote a 75th anniversary book, and it goes on and on. But we had some other celebrations too. We celebrated our 10th year with our Education and Work Center out in Hanover Park, if you're familiar with that center. We celebrated the 30th anniversary of our Arts Center here at the college. And the 40th anniversary of the ECC Foundation. And we celebrated the groundbreaking of our Manufacturing and Technology Center. Right up there. This is really going to help carry us into the future, training the future workforce. Should be one of the largest manufacturing centers for a community college in the state, and we couldn't be more delighted and are on track to open doors in fall of 2026. When we think back to 1949, our first class at Elgin High School of just a small class of students, and we think that we are now serving over 10,000 students here at ECC, we're really celebrating as we reflect back over 75 years. On Thursday night, we're going to celebrate our basic operations firefighters at the college as they walk the stage, and then on Saturday, 700 graduates will receive their certificates or degrees. So I want to thank all the community partners and Mayor Kaptain in particular for his support of ECC. And with that, I would like to hand it back off to Carol. Thank you.
Well, we always like to introduce folks that are with us, and of course today with us is City Manager Rick Kozel, who doesn't like being introduced. Some of our chamber board members are here with us today. Mike Warren, Yannette Medina, Yvonne Irving, Sarah Vance is with us as well. And my team, Tony, back there, Jerry, oh, Margarita's over there. You couldn't do these events without my team, and I'm so appreciative. Of course, it's important that you recognize that we have some elected officials here today, so I'd like to introduce city council persons, including Rose Martinez, John Steffen, Tish Howell, Dustin Good, Anthony Ortiz, there he is, all right, and of course Mayor Kaptain, our featured speaker here today. Obviously, the trustees were introduced from Elgin Community College. The trustees from the Fox River Water Reclamation District Forward, you're here today too. Eric, you and your sitting with the Hanover Township trustees, and Representative Ness is here. Way over there she is. Becky Gill from Senator DeWitt's office. Becky being Yeah, and thank you all for being here today. It is now my pleasure to introduce Sarah Vance with AT&T, who will introduce the mayor. Sarah.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning and welcome to Mayor Kaptain's State of the City Address. I am so thrilled to be able to join you all today on behalf of AT&T. At AT&T, over the last 5 years, we have invested more than $4.7 billion in our wired and wireless networks here in Illinois. We are also focused on bridging the digital divide, bringing fiber to residents here, including right here in Elgin, and powering FirstNet, which is the only nationwide communications public safety network. With that, allow me to introduce our esteemed Mayor Kaptain. The Elgin Area Chamber's State of the City Address by Mayor Kaptain is a cornerstone event for our local business community. This annual gathering provides an exclusive opportunity for Mayor Kaptain to share key updates on Elgin's progress, spotlighting major developments, accomplishments, and plans that directly impact area businesses. As the leader of Illinois' 6th largest city, home to more than 115,000 residents, Mayor Kaptain oversees a vibrant, dynamic, and diverse community. Elgin is distinguished by its variety in population, housing options, and business sectors. In recent years, it has experienced substantial commercial and industrial growth, cementing its status as one of the fastest growing cities in the state, even the country. Mayor Kaptain is a visionary leader whose dedication to public service has profoundly shaped Elgin's success. Renowned for his unwavering commitment to enhancing the quality of life for residents, he has championed initiatives focused on economic development, community enrichment, public safety, and addressing the city's evolving needs. His leadership style emphasizes collaboration, working closely with local officials, and fostering engagement across Elgin's diverse community. Mayor Kaptain is instrumental in advancing policies that prioritize inclusivity, sustainability, and innovation with the steadfast vision of creating a community where businesses and residents alike can can flourish. First elected to the City Council in 2005, Mayor Kaptain has served as Elgin's mayor since 2011 and is now in his 4th term. A retired chief chemist and director of process control for the Fox River Water Reclamation District, he holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Bradley University. His tenure continues to reflect a deep commitment to the growth and prosperity of Elgin. Welcome, Mayor Kaptain, and thank you for your service.
Okay, I'm wired up. Can everybody hear me? Thank you, Sarah. Welcome, everybody, to this breakfast and fine breakfast. I want to thank ECC, I want to thank Elgin Development Group and Elgin Chamber of Commerce for allowing this to take place today. The past year for Elgin has established a level of excellence that will be hard for us to beat. A level that not so much in my eyes or in the eyes of businesses or in the eyes of our residents, but in the eyes of people who don't live here. It's been amazing for us to be recognized on a national level by communities and by businesses and organizations around the United States. This past year, we received a notification that Elgin is one of the safest and most affordable cities in the United States, with a population under 300,000 people. That's a very significant thing. It talks a lot about what we do as a community. And we're talking today about partnerships, and we're talking about how we all work together to make things happen. And it's not just the city of Elgin that makes this happen, it's all of us. By smart assets as well, Elgin is recognized as one of the top 10 fastest growing cities in the United States, with a population over 65,000. So we're a growing community, we're changing, and part of this speech today you're going to be hearing about is the efforts from the city to keep pace with that growth. Very important for us. This Saturday, we will be recognized by the Illinois Commission on Diversity and Human Relations. Elgin just doesn't grow as a city of buildings and properties and houses. We grow as a city on a social level as well. Been recognized for our efforts in community development and building a community. The trifold that we see is going to be placed on about 400 dinner plates this Saturday to recognize the city of Elgin and the opportunities. There'll be a number of us out there in Palatine to enjoy that banquet and to be recognized as a community. Larkin High School will be there. We're going to talk a little bit about the things that Elgin has done, and it's about us working together. We're going to talk about the ROPE program that was established here decades ago. Youth empowerment program that has become part of the policing in the city of Elgin. We're going to talk about our festivals, Juneteenth, Fiesta de Elgin, the Pride Parade, our National Night Out, all things that bring us together as a city and bring us together as a community to share the space that we are on the face of the earth. Communities coming together is the theme for Saturday. When I first ran for office, I look back at my campaign stuff for back when I first ran for city council, and I ran on building a community. And I think we've done that. I think we've built a community that welcomes everybody, and it welcomes people from all over the world to come and live here, prosper, and enjoy the American dream. The level of success is not possible for us without the efforts of the entire city staff, our residents, and our business partners. We'll continue to strive to do better. Elgin has continued a solid, diverse growth over the past decade. We have 280 apartments that are being under construction in the city of Elgin. We have a 150-unit senior living facility that's been approved. We have 274 single-family home sites that will soon be under construction, with 350 more dwelling units in the pipeline. One of the concerns here is for us to be able to provide both affordable housing, but also available housing. I really believe in ripple effects. When one apartment opens up, somebody moves in and it opens up another one. So it's important for us to be able to look at that as a city and how do we grow and make sure that we have a diverse, balanced growth throughout the city, and we've done a great job with that so far. Elgin has a median income of about $86,000, and our average home value here is about $240,000, while over 50% of the homes are classified by HUD as affordable in the city of Elgin. We recently approved a balanced budget that keeps taxes in check while still providing sufficient revenue for the growth of our general fund and to pay for our services. The chart shows a balanced revenue stream that meets our increasing needs for the general fund and provides a degree of protection from upsets in the economy and changes in the world environment. The property tax levy in the city of Elgin has remained, for our general fund, has remained the same for 12 consecutive years. With a small increase, we keep pace with our pensions and to make sure that our public safety pensions are well funded, and we keep pace with the requirement to, by 2040, to be able to pay for all our public pensions. We're trying to avoid the pitfall that other communities have gone into, where their pension debt is starting to grind them into the ground. Just the interest on the pension debt is going to become unaffordable for many communities. Well, we're not going to let that happen. We try to keep up. It's noticed we separated that on our tax bills a few years ago to make sure people were aware of what goes towards public pensions. The expenditures chart shows that the majority of our expenses are towards employee wages and benefits. We remain competitive in the labor market, and that's a key thing now, is competing with other businesses. And we get those questions back all the time. Well, how come you haven't hired this person? Or why haven't we expanded to do this? Because it's difficult to find quality people to fill those positions. And people move. It comes down to becoming, at the end of the day, when they've gone out and searched for a job, they're like anybody else. They're going to pick the best opportunity for them. And sometimes Elgin doesn't meet that requirement. One of the things that I think has changed for us in the past few years is not the dollars that helps people make the change and make their decision. It's the quality of life in the city of Elgin. It's the people that are here. It's the diversity of this community and the welcoming community that we have. And that sells more to people now sometimes than the dollars. I've met with people that came here to offer, talk about moving to the city of Elgin. And they asked about what we do, what kind of places we have. They obviously look and have shopped around and look at properties around the city. They've worked with Tony Lisinko through the Elgin Development Group and the Chamber to find a place to go. And then they start to ask some other questions from the mayor. What kind of schools do you have? What are your people like here? What do we do? How do we move here? We have a diverse workforce. How do they fit in? And Elgin has been recognized as one of the most diverse communities in the United States over the past few decades. And that sells to people. That sells to people that may have never been to Elgin. We are competing now with major cities around the country, and they pick Elgin a number of times. Even though we're a much smaller community, they see us as a better place for them to grow as a business. Elgin keeps pace by expanding our technology in our public safety sector and enhancing services. We'll be adding 23 new full-time employees on this budget cycle, including 11 police officers and 10 firefighters. And we'll be bringing back an ambulance to provide additional services for our residents. We took that out of service a few years ago for cost savings. We are able to bring it back and provide the emergency services that we need. Our policy's always been, the city manager and I will chat about things and how we move forward. And is this essential for us to do this at this time? Is it best to wait? Is it timely to do this? And it's timely for us to do this. We're seeing calls go up, ambulance calls go up. We found out that we're sharing with our mutual responses. Our benefit back is more than we give out. So we're going to make some changes here to upgrade our services for our community, and that's part of the challenge of having growth. When you have growth, you have to grow the infrastructure. You have to grow the people that are going to provide those services. And I always had this vision. We have our, for those of you that don't know, our planning area goes out past Route 47. And I was talking to somebody out there a few years ago and about what the future looked like and what the city was going to look like. And I said, boy, I have this vision of people coming out here. They're going to buy a home out near Route 47. They get out of their car and say, where's our rec center? And where's our college? Don't we have a college out here? And I think it's such a big service area, but that's part of the discussion that we have to have. The Elgin Police Department will explore expanding the rope program by becoming mobile through the use of tiny rope houses that can be moved from neighborhoods to neighborhood. And the City Council recently approved a civilian review board to bring residents into closer contact with the Elgin Police Department. This was a significant change, took about 3 years to work through the process. But that's about what the City of Elgin does. They've asked me to say a few words at the banquet on building community on Saturday, and one of the things I'm going to talk about is our rope program and what that's done over the past 3 decades in building a community. It's taken our police department and put them out into the neighborhoods to meet with people, and so people can understand what a police officer's job is, and police officers can understand what the community looks like. This program's paid great benefits for our city over the decades. A number of police superintendents and police chiefs around the United States came out of the rope program. I firmly believe for a long time that the rope program made better police officers for our city. And we've made great strides in how we work within the community, and that's part of community building. That builds the community by making sure that all of us have a part in the process, part in planning, part in the discussions, and about being a transparent community. We're not afraid to answer any questions. And I think that's an important part for anyone. We don't hide anything. If you got a question, you have to ask us. And we're more than happy to be able to provide those answers for you as a resident of the city. One of the things that's going to be challenging for us is our water utility. Elgin will be facing major changes in water treatment and delivery infrastructure over the next 10 years. Our existing deep wells will need to be replaced. Water mains are leaking at a substantial, unsustainable rate, and they need to be replaced. New sources of pollution must be treated by upgrading our current treatment technology. When we had the discussion about the water mains leaking, we all thought they were the oldest ones that were leaking, and we found out that that's not necessarily the case. We found out that after World War II, there was substandard steel put into some of the piping, and that created problems for us. We're starting to see those pipes starting to leak. We lose about 30% of our water from the time it's transmitted from the water treatment facility out to the homes, and that has to be corrected. It's cost us money, and it costs you money. So we want to make sure that that gets done. It's going to be a long process. We have a number of issues that we have to look at to replace our wells. Some of the wells that we have as backups in the city of Elgin now are over 100 years old and we're going to have to be replaced. We have to upgrade our treatment process because of new chemicals. Not new to the world, but new to the environmental. And those include the PFAS, and those will have to be treated and removed, and we have to upgrade the treatment process. We've been having discussions about the Fox River Dam and what is going to happen with the dam. Environmentally, it might make the best decision to be the best decision to take the dam out. But when we do that, our water supply will no longer be reliable in the Fox River, and we have to look at providing a long-term, sustainable water supply for the city of Elgin. There is nothing more important to this community than having a supply of water that will be available for everybody at a reasonable cost. Our costs are still competitive with the communities around us. We have a burden. We have a burden that other communities don't have. Elgin is the leader in the state of Illinois in the replacement of lead service lines. But We have a lot of work to do to finish it. We've replaced over 2,000. We have almost 9,000 more lead service lines to replace. Each one costs about $15,000. Cost estimates for our water infrastructure replacements that I've just listed will be in excess of $1 billion. To fund that, it's necessary for us to increase water rates. We're going to be increasing water rates for the next decade. We have a plan for the first 5 years, but I don't like to go too far past that because I can't look through my crystal ball. My crystal ball is about the size of a marble. And I think that it's important that we have that in our mind, that this cost is going to be out there and we're going to have to pay for it. How we go about doing it is going to be a decision for our paid staff and for the city council in the next few years. This water increase will be spread around the community, and the current way to pay for that is with bonds. And I'll be going into that a little bit later, and we have some concerns in those lines on how we're going to pay for this debt and how we look at as we move down into the future. On 1/2/2025, for all of you that are residents in the city of Elgin, we will begin a new era of solid waste disposal. We'll be moving away from Waste Management's contract, who's been our waste hauler for over 30 years, and going with Lakeshore Recycling, who will provide a community-wide flat rate as a linchpin for the changeover. We'll be having organics removal that will be using waste tote to remove your lawn clippings, organic waste, kitchen waste. That'll be possible to be used and disposed of in that regard as well. There will be no stickers required on bags anymore. It'll be a service that's included in the fee. And basic services, including leaf pickup, will remain the same. So hopefully it'll be a seamless change. There'll be a different color truck going through your neighborhood. But other than that, we hope pickup is the same. And I will be, my leaf pickup, I'm a leaf guy. And I just saw a thing in the paper, and what falls in my yard stays in my yard. And I chop all my leaves up and I mulch them. So I look at it that way, and I pay the leaf pickup fee, but I don't have more than about a bushel basket full of leaves in my street in front of my house. But we all have opportunities, and that's one of the things I really believe in is creating options for people. And I don't put people in boxes too often or push them into a corner, because I like to give them an option and make a choice. It's a life choice that you get to make. And there are opportunities here for you to change your lifestyle, to do things that are more sustainable for us and our environment. And this is a time to start rethinking some of the things that we do. The Grand Victoria Casino continues to be a steady source of income of city revenue, has been a steady source of city income revenue for decades, providing over $500 million in funds that has gone to street repairs and special projects in our city. Too many to name. The GVC is still very competitive in the state in a changing gaming environment. Good management and renewed upgraded amenities are the key to their future. We continue to work with them, and they have been a great partner for the city of Elgin over the last almost 30 years now. Economic growth. The efforts of the city staff, Chamber, Elgin Development Group, the DNA, Convention and Visitors Bureau, and our unrecognized ally, word of mouth, has helped Elgin grow economically and business-wise over the past 10 years. There was a time when the city, and there was talk within the community, that we didn't need to have that we should be doing this process in-house. I said that was a mistake then to talk about that. I say it's a mistake today. This process works for us very well. Obviously, the world around us sees the growth in this city that has been pushed forward by these groups as a success, and let's keep that success. Occupied commercial space and residential space in Elgin is at an all-time high. Occupied space. We're full, folks. We have to start looking at expanding. We need more housing. We need more commercial space. We have to start looking out past Randall Road. Future growth will rely on commercial and industrial space west of Randall and renewed focus on rebuilding areas of downtown and our central city and the old parts of our community. We've moved past that over the last few years, but we need to refocus on how we're going to reuse the infrastructure that is already in place. And I'll go back to that because that's a key thing. We keep talking about building new infrastructure. Every time we open up farmland west of us, we have to provide new infrastructure. We have space and vacant properties within the city of Elgin that would be available to be built on without adding that extra infrastructure. That's a key for us. It's a key as we're going to move forward. Lastly, as I start moving towards a conclusion, it is a mayor's most important job to ensure the safety of our residents. The recent fire at the Tent City in downtown Elgin has raised serious concerns for me about the safety of the people that are living down there and the safety of the people that are around it and our environment and the nearby railroad line. That's going to accelerate a decision to do something about that. We have to make sure all our residents are safe, and that's what we will be working on in the next few weeks. We are going to make sure that the residents in the city of Elgin are safe. Number one priority for Mayor. I want to take this opportunity to thank our federal and state elected representatives for providing funding assistance for a number of projects that I'm sure I'm going to miss a couple here, including the Route 31 bridge replacement, the sports complex, a $30 million project for the city of Elgin, the DuPage Court project, the renovation of DuPage Court, the ECC Manufacturing and Technology Center, the $80 million venture on the part of Elgin Community College and received some funding from the state. The lead service lines. Our lead service lines typically cost about $15,000 a piece. That's our estimate. We've made some progress in replacing those because we're one of the leaders in the state of Illinois. Sometimes it pays to be first. We're finding cost advantages that were hidden to us. And now we're finding ways to do them at a cheaper level, and people around the state will follow what the city of Elgin does. That's been a change here over the last 15 or 20 years. We always wanted to be like somebody else, and I don't want to be like anybody else, never have. I wanted to be like us. And now people are looking at us as the leaders in this community and in the state of Illinois and how we do things, and lead service lines will be one of those things. The Dundee Summit Street Project. We all have our opportunities to complain and are concerned about traffic flow. And I love people, they complain and say, well, how come the traffic is so bad here? And when are you going to do something to fix it? I hear that about Route 20 all the time. How are we going to change the traffic on Route 20? So when the time comes and we go to repair Route 20, then they'll complain about the traffic jam that they have to go through. So it all goes with the job, and it all goes with being part of an elected official. Now I want to move away and talk a little bit about the future. We need to move away from the philosophy that grants and other government agencies will pay for all of our projects. Those days are coming to a close. I want us to keep a close eye on the debt that this city has. We've done a really great job over the last 15 or 20 years in maintaining our debt and not allowing it to grow. We pay off, we pay for what we want, we pay for what we buy, we try to do it through local taxes. We take advantage of grants when they're available, but they're going to become scarcer. I received a memo from the state of Illinois. The governor's budget office is warning all of their departments to be careful that there may not be the money they anticipate coming to them this year from the federal government, and that the state of Illinois will not be able to make up that difference. So the word is out there. It's time to be cautious, and that's what we need to do as part of our plan for the city. We need to move forward and talk about education. Our educational system is going to be a linchpin for the growth of this community for decades to come. It's going to depend on how we develop industrial space, how we build commercial space, how we build schools. The system that we have encourages a choice of options. As I said, I love options. I love to give kids options. Let them make the choice. of what they want to be. Let's provide them, let's help them make that decision. This starts for us at about the age of 2 with EPL and with their efforts to provide early learning for young people, to make them prepared to go into U46 and to go into the school systems, and to the surrounding school districts as well. Many of our young people go to overlapping school districts other than U46. I read this and I always try to get this correct. I thought this stuck with me for many, many years, that we need to be able to teach the children to read by the 3rd grade so they can read to learn after that 3rd grade. And that's going to be a challenge for us, and EPL and the school districts have to meet that challenge to make sure young people can read so they can move on. We need to support the collaboration with the Alignment Collaborative for Education and ECC with their new manufacturing technology. We have a system in place now, and I've talked to people that come here for businesses and say, we are going to provide you with a workforce stream from grade school all the way to a community college and a college and university, if they so choose. That's what we need to continue to do. We need to continue to help provide assistance with that. We need to provide the support for that. And we need to make certain that the education that they receive is top-notch. The Manufacturing and Technology Center out here, when I came through on a tour a few years ago and went through the welding class, and Mr. Klein told me at that time, he said, we don't have any young people that go through our welding class that don't have a job. We saw a disconnect. We saw a disconnect with our education system, and we were educating young people and not getting them prepared to do a job. We need to move that forward and make sure that that connection is continued and is still viable for us for a long period. I travel around a little bit and go to schools early in the year. I have a great confidence in the future of this city and its education program. I go to 4th grade classes, and for some reason they always like to talk to me about what it's like to be the mayor. And they ask me questions, oh, are you a Cubs fan? What kind of dog do you have? I have that kind of thing too, but I look at the young people that are there. They're energized, they're excited, they're looking to be educated, and the future of Elgin, I looked at it this year. 80%, in Dave Kaptain's estimation, of the young 4th graders in this city are Hispanic. We need to educate and make sure they have the tools to have a viable growth and a viable education in this city to take them into a position 20 years from now. 20 years from now, those 4th graders will be at a point they're going to be the young adults in this community. We need to make sure that they have the tools to have a good life and a good education. So let's work towards that. Lastly, sometimes we have to move on from talking the talk and to walk the walk. I would like to recommend to the staff and the City Council and the Grand Victoria Casino that we sit down and have a conversation about building a hotel in the city of Elgin, in conjunction with the casino and in conjunction with the city of Elgin. Not just the city of Elgin asking the casino to build a hotel, but to be a partner in that process. And I think it's critical for the growth of the city. I think it's critical to tie the sports complex. The conversation has been out there for years that if we provide soccer fields and softball fields, people will come to stay in the city of Elgin. And there was talk about building a hotel out there on city property, and I think it's time for us to have that conversation with the management at Grand Victoria and to look towards see if there's a future there for us to do that. The conversation is exactly what I say. It's just a conversation. At this time, I think to wrap up, the manager, his staff, and I will continue to do the best we can do for this community. After serving as an elected official for over 20 years, there are always more drivers in the back seat than there are in the front seat. Our job is to make sure that the people in the front seat, is us, that we keep our eye on the road and we keep moving forward. And that is what we will continue to do in this city. I want everybody to have a happy holiday season, and particularly as you get to be my age, a healthy and happy new year. And I always end this speech with the same quote from my friend Tiny Tim. May God bless us all. Thank you very much. Do we have a couple minutes for questions? Any questions for me? Again, I have a policy. You can ask me anything you want. Okay, I must have intimidated her. Carol, please go ahead.
Could you talk about the update with the Hemmons and the growth that you have occurring with that new building?
Yes, that's I think it's the manager's here, I believe it's about a $13 million project to upgrade the Hemmons. And when we talk about costs, I always try to caution people that when we first bid that project, I believe it was $9 million. And it was not more than 5 years ago. That project is now $13 million. As we're standing here, we're seeing costs go up, and we have to deal with that. It's going to provide a new front for us. It's going to provide a new ticket office. It's going to provide new office space. In case you didn't know, the staff has been working. We moved very quickly. You know, I was met with the weatherman from Channel 9 about a year and a half ago, and he wanted to put a weather cam in downtown Elgin. Well, that weather cam is now functional and on top of the Hemmons, and so you can view downtown, and people will be able to see our city. And we're doing some major upgrades, and that's a huge project and cost for the city of Elgin. We have projects that are in the pipeline, but everything often we find out that one project depends on another. And we're seeing that with our downtown redevelopment. That's going to be at a very slow pace because the discussion about taking the dam out has kind of stalled. And I think that is crucial. The property that's around there is crucial for the process of taking the dam out. So those conversations will be going on for a long time. But we have plans for downtown redevelopment on the north end of the downtown as well. Anything else? Yes, sir, way in the back.
My wife and I just moved to Elgin. What should our first stop be? What do you want to highlight about the community to people who do live here?
What do they want to highlight?
Where should we go? What's our first stop?
Okay, I think I'll tell you, and I'll be honest with you. You have children?
We do not.
Okay. I think one of the things that, one of the first stops, I think that we start, I've had people that have lived here for 4 or 5 years, and they've never been to the Gail Borden Library. I would suggest you drive by and take a look at the library. And wherever you live in the city of Elgin or in South Elgin, take a look at a library branch. And I go there all the time. That's my hobby. I love to read, and I browse through Gale's sales, and I buy the books. The problem is I'm an unreliable guy, and if I check a book out, it may sit for me for a week before I get to it. But if I buy it for 50 cents or $1, I can keep it on my bookshelf, and it doesn't concern me too much. But that would be one of the first places I would stop, and I think that's. It's one of the tourist attractions in our city that brings in almost 1 million people a year to our downtown. It's a lot. The rec center, I'm a big believer as well in life is not a sprint. Life's a marathon. So be healthy. I love to walk. My wife and I love to walk. Make sure that the rec center and part of our recreational facilities are part of your life plan, and enjoy the bike paths and the pedestrian ways around the city of Elgin. But welcome to the city of Elgin. Happy to have you here. Okay, Mr. Warren. Yeah.
Hey, Mayor, I just wanted to make a comment that a couple things. The downtown has really seen more activity with all of the parties and festivals, and I've seen that as a really vibrant, strong step to bring people downtown. But I wanted to see ask you what your vision is for west of Randall Road, which probably is the center of Elgin at some point. What does that look like for the future?
I think that we're starting to see a lot of homes that are built out there, And I think that one of the, I always look back and try to remember what it was. I was on planning for 6 years before I became a council member. So I remember many of the projects that are out there were on planning. We move very fast. Shodine is planning to open up their new development and talking about breaking ground and doing some work out there. And I just laughed with Dave Pextel. I said, great, you got a job. We got that done in a hurry. Almost 14 years later, that project broke ground. What we need to start looking at, we made some mistakes. And I think when we did this and we looked at this, we tried to pigeonhole people. And we created large subdivisions, but internally to those subdivisions, we did not give them a destination. There should be a place where they can walk, and we have to start looking forward to being more of a pedestrian community. So you can walk out your front door and maybe walk up to get your dry cleaning done or go to a restaurant. So maybe we'll be looking at more small centers, town centers, out in the residential areas as something that's different. And I'm a story guy too, as you know, and this is many years ago with Elgin Community Network. We were talking about doing a bike system in the city of Elgin. So we went out, we did charrettes in certain parts of town, and we had a consultant that was working with us talking about building a bike plan. The plan at that time was to have the bike paths all move towards the library so young people could have an easy way to get to the library. So we asked people where they wanted to go. What's your destination in your neighborhood? We went all around town and asked everybody what you thought would be, what you'd want to do. And it was amazing to me. After every community independently made their decision, where would your number one destination be in your neighborhood? Guess what it was? Dairy Queen. So much for all the planning and so much for the thought of planners. That's where people wanted to go. And one of the tasks of community and our community and what we try to do best is listen to the people that live here. We build a city for what you want, not what we see, but what the community wants, and that's about building a community. Yes, sir.
Has there been any kind of partnership set up with U46 to attract new businesses to Illinois?
Yes, they are. They're a major partner, and all the school districts are here, are partners in the Alignment Collaborative for Education. And we've changed the way we looked at education a few years ago. Instead of just looking at young people, I'll give you another story in a minute, as looking forwards to going to a 4-year university, I went out and they had me come back. Again, I was at Ellis Middle School. That was where I went. They had me come in and talk to their history class and their government class. So people asked, they asked about government and how government works. And what are you working on? And this, again, the majority of kids in the audience, there were probably 90 of them, were minority. And they're looking at me and they said, well, what else are you working on? I said, well, I'm working on this. We had a summit to talk about education. And out of this came the Alignment Collaborative for Education, to provide an opportunity for young people to, I said, there are good jobs out there for you. You don't necessarily have to go to a 4-year university to have a good job. And I looked out at that group, and I saw something in the eyes of those kids. I saw hope. We had taken hope away from 8th graders by saying they were at to the point where I don't think I'm going to be able to go to college. I don't think my grades are good enough. I've got 4 or 5 brothers and sisters. There's not enough money in my family to do this. And I think at that point they started to give up. So we came back. Well, let's look at something different. Now we send 3,000 8th graders to job fairs every year to give them an opportunity and say there are good things out there for you, but don't stop studying. You have to continue to your education. We love for you to go through and they get into culinary arts. I just took my life in my hands with Rick West. I saw him around here. We were part of a hamburger challenge for School District U46 to try experimental hamburgers to pick the best hamburger at the poorhouse. And that's part of the thing. These kids are energized. They're at high school. They want to go into culinary arts. That's great. Go into culinary arts. Finish your education. Come to Elgin Community College. and finish a part of your education here. If you want to go back and get a 4-year degree, you can do that. But get yourself an education and don't give up at 8th grade. I saw that as a big tragedy for this community. And I think that we've turned that corner. And we've given people hope and opportunities for jobs. Young people need to start making those decisions. They have to start having a decision in their future. And I think that's part of how we then provide a workforce. Elgin Community College is going to help finish up the education for people with welding, manufacturing skills, technology, and get them ready to be out into the job force and the workforce. But that training starts at the high school level now. So that's critical, and that's how we work together to provide what this community needs to grow. Yep.
Could you just say a word or two about how the city and you view the social and economic impact of the not-for-profit sector?
Absolutely. Again, this is Gretchen Bopner, and when I first ran for city council over 20 years ago, I came down and I sat with the not-for-profits. I put together a meeting just to sit down and talk to, I think there were 10 or 12. Came and I find them as being a big part of our community. They're a large employer within our community. They provide services for health and safety and the needs of the residents of our city. And again, we are a city. We're our city. That's why people come here. That's why people come here for help. They go to the crisis center, a woman that has been abused in Dundee or another community, they will come to Elgin to receive that services. And when I sat down with them, she said, you know, Mayor, you're the first person that ever sat down with us as an individual group and talked to us about being part of the community. They are an integral part of this community, and it's how this community is viewed from the people around us. A friend of mine was we'll talk briefly about homelessness. And the former mayor of Carpentersville and I were at a meeting one day and we're talking about this, and I said, we're trying to address the problem of homelessness or houseless, however you want to term it. We've been doing this for 20 years. And he said, well, we don't have any in Carpentersville. We don't have any homeless. He said, we bring them to Elgin. And I looked at him and he said, I'm not proud of that. But you have the social services that can give them the care that they need. And that's the key. That's what Elgin's about. We provide what people need, and we'll try to meet those needs. I know I'm pushing the 9 o'clock limit, and you guys have jobs you want to go to, and I want you to keep those jobs. So thank you for having me today. God bless you all for what you do. Thank you.
Recognize another board member, Steve Magala. I'm sorry, Steve, I didn't mention you. I want to make sure that you recognize the value of volunteering in this community. Steve, you just finished up 2 terms with planning and zoning, is that right? And actually, how many years have you dedicated?
I've been doing planning and zoning for about 20 years, or a couple of different municipalities.
So when I look out at this crowd, I see people who have dedicated themselves. Clara, you've had how many years as a trustee with the college? 30 years as a college. Please, when you're asked by a not-for-profit organization, a religious organization, to give a little bit of your time, please do. It makes a huge impact in our community. So thanks again to all of you for being here, to our sponsors, AT&T, the guys over here from Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick doing a lot of the planning. Mike, they're helping you with your bridges coming up. We didn't talk about the bridges, but that'll be next year's conversation, right? Mr. Russell? New bridges. And to Elgin Community College, thank you, Peggy and trustees, for all that you've done. Thank you for being with us. We know your schedules are tight. You're welcome to stay. There are plenty of seconds for you, and of course, coffee is hot. Happy holidays to all of you, and we look forward to working with you in 2025. Thank you.